What's good people, and welcome back to the channel here on Kruboy Productions. My name is BK, and this is the Silly, Nerdy, and Wordy podcast. And this is an acknowledgement video of me receiving the 2 badges from vidIQ of 200 uploads and 5,000 views. So this is not an episode. This is not about a particular movie or TV updates or Broadway show, although I will be talking some Broadway. And so this is just a big thank you to all of the subscribers. At this point, I'm at 21. So thank you for all that are subscribed. Thank you for all the listeners, particularly those of you who have been with me since episode 0, as I initially started as an audio only podcast. Never thought I'd be doing this YouTube thing. Or maybe I thought I'd be doing it much longer than 3 years after the fact. So thank you for everyone that is subscribed. Thank you for those that you who are viewing my videos but are not subscribed. Thank you to those people as well. To you, thank you to the international viewers as well. Really appreciate it, international listeners. So thank you so much. And that's just wanted to acknowledge that, because I initially wasn't sure if I was going to do this. I was going to kind of keep moving forward, but here I am. And I'm just going to continue to do this content. As if you haven't noticed, I have a passion for these things. These things meaning film, Broadway, theater, TV, production, the things that are happening and the choices that are made on camera and off camera, on and off stage, and within the industry, the business, and the different nerdy aspects, all the different roles that are involved, and how they all contribute to making the things that we watch at home and in theaters and on stage. I'm going to continue covering the movies as they come out in theaters, theatrically, as well as the streaming movies as they are released for those select ones. I will continue to do that, and I will also be having future guests on the show, so very soon. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe. A new thing that I want to do is older movies. Now, recently I've gotten access to my older Blu-ray movies and DVD movies with the special featurettes. You always hear me say, is it a Blu-ray worthy? And so I have actual, the physical copies of the movies. So I'll be rewatching some movies through a different eye, movies that I've seen many times before, but now I get to dissect them the way I've been doing them now, that I wasn't looking at them in that way back then when they first came out, or when they first came on the Blu-ray and DVD. So I'm talking about movies like Lord of the Rings and those features. And I'm talking about Top Gun. I actually had an idea for Top Gun, but I didn't have my Blu-ray. Now I do. So I'll get to do that episode. And of course, The Dark Knight. Ooh, looking forward to getting into this one. So many thoughts on cinematography, score. Yeah, looking forward to that. And then a lot of the MCU stuff, Endgame, I'll get to dissect this, and many others, James Bond, Harry Potter, Hunger Games, so much more to dive into. So I'm looking forward to rewatching some older movies and just dissecting them, in addition to looking at rewatching the production featurettes and tackling an aspect of it and the different roles. And then also I will continue to do the Broadway shows as I see them live and in person. So I have one coming up so far, and that is The Sound of Music. I'll be seeing that in early October. That will be my, at that point, second or third time seeing that on stage. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, favorite musicals. So excited to see it. And speaking of Broadway, I saw Shucked earlier this year in March. Now, at that point in time, I wasn't on YouTube yet. I didn't know if I was going to do it, but I didn't record an audio episode with it. And typically, when I see a Broadway show, I like to do the review, the same day, a couple hours after seeing the show, or the next day, 2 days out at the latest. And for Shucked, I did not do an episode on it, but from what I remember, I can tell you I enjoyed it. It was different. It was a little raunchy in a good way in terms of the comedy. And this is kind of unplanned, but I do have a nerdy note. When I saw Shucked, there is a number in Shuck. It's actually the opening number from the song Corn. And there are similarities to the Shucked play and the Beauty and the Beast show. Similarities in terms of the prop using in the opening number Corn. They're clinking the corns back and forth within the Shucked show. They are using a long form table as they're having the corn, and they're clinking it to the people to the left and the right of them. It's a great song. I enjoyed that show. Beauty and the Beast is similar in the sense that they use a prop as well for a song that also happens in Act 1, and I'm talking about the Gaston song. And you get to a certain point in the Gaston song where they have the beer mugs and they're clinking them. Now, understand that every Broadway show is different, every production, every location, every cast, they do different versions of the performances. But I'm speaking to the version that I saw. It was much more intricate, and it's similar to Shuck because they're clinking the beer mugs back and forth, but also they're clinking it to the person that's to the left of them, the person that's to the right of them. But in the version that I saw, there were different levels. It was much more intricate. They were going up and down while clinking it. And then as they're singing the Gaston song, and then the actors position themselves to get on their backs, and they have their hands up with the beer mugs, and sometimes their knees are up, and so they're clinking the beer mugs with the people that are standing up while the song is going on. They're kind of moving their arms around and sometimes intertwining their arms with other cast members while clinking the mugs and moving around in different levels and singing, no one, going through that song, doing all of that coordination, clinking the mugs. Whereas in Shucked, they're using the long table and clinking the corn back and forth to the person to the left and to the right of them, moving it up as well. But the Beauty and the Beast song, it's a longer performance. I think it's much more intricate. There's much more movement involved. And of course, as you're doing stuff on Broadway, everyone has to be on point. You cannot mess up. There is no place to hide. So if one person messes up, the whole thing does. The audience is right there in front of you. So if you mess up, you got to keep going. That's one thing I love about, the live Broadway show. But I wanted to mention that as I remember seeing Shucked and that particular performance of Corn, and they're using the prop of the corn and then the prop of the Beauty and the Beast song with Gaston, because Beauty and the Beast is also coming down to my area here at DPAC. They're going to start opening night on the 2nd. So I won't be able to see it, but I've seen the show 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times. But it just reminded me of that performance. It's very intricate and detailed, lots of rehearsal required. So I will continue to see Broadway shows, and as I see them, I will do a review of them here on the channel. Like I said, the next one coming up for me is The Sound of Music. Hopefully I'll be able to do some more later this year or early next year. So this is, again, an acknowledgement video of 200 uploads and 5,000 views overall on this channel. So thank you again to everyone that watches and listens, everyone that is subscribed, everyone that watches and is not subscribed. Hopefully I will be able to provide you value to earn your subscription very soon. Another thing that I will also do is talk some Star Wars. Of course, I do have Star Wars content on the channel already. I did cover my thoughts on Star Wars Celebration 2025. I have a couple of videos on that and a short on it also, talking about Darth Maul and Darth Maul, Shadow Lord, and Star Wars Visions, and the movies that are coming out, and how Star Wars Starfighter going into production this fall. And now that we've seen recently, within the last couple days, the director Sean Levy has shown a picture of him and the lead Ryan Gosling on what looks to be a land speeder of them in a black and white picture as they are getting ready to start production soon, maybe even September. So hopefully I will be doing more Star Wars content, but I'm just need to find my Star Wars voice. I would say I'm not as deep in detail of the lore and the details of it like shout out the Star Wars Explained channel, but I've seen a lot of Star Wars. I have all of the movies on Blu-ray except for Solo, A Star Wars Story. I don't have that movie. I've seen all of the animation except for only maybe a couple minutes of the Young Jedi series that is on Disney Plus right now, that is set in the High Republic. I have not been into that one. Listen to a lot of books as well, Star Wars books, including the High Republic as well, and non-High Republic content. So I have thoughts on Star Wars, and of course I have those Star Wars Blu-rays, but just figuring out how to talk about it. I'm excited about Star Wars Visions coming in October of this year. So that's coming up really soon. And what else do I want to talk about in this? I think that's pretty much it. Again, this is just an acknowledgement of the 5,000 views and the 200 uploads. Looking forward to getting to 250 uploads and getting to 6,000 views. So thank all of you for watching and listening. And I'll be getting into those older Blu-ray films as well, rewatching some great movies that we all have seen. But this time I'll get to dissect it as I do now, when I wasn't doing that back then at the time of the release. And yeah, so the next videos that you'll see coming up here on the screen, that will be older episodes from my audio only days. So you'll see episode 1, and it is about my thoughts on what it takes to bring a movie to the screen in terms of from concept to the theater. I did a 2-part episode of that, episode 1, and then I did episode 2. Even talked about what kids have to go through in terms of the extra things that they have to do in terms of learning their lines and going to school back and forth and all the things. And so I went into detail about that. The other video you'll see it's called The Elements of Theater. That is episode 12. And I went into detail in terms of the big core things that requires to bring a Broadway production to the stage. I didn't cover 100% everything in that episode, as well as episode 1 and 2. But in episode 12, I covered a good chunk of that, as well as some upcoming shows that I was going to be seeing. This was back in 2023. So those 2 videos will be coming up on the screen. You will see episode 1 and episode 12. So check those out. And subscribe for more, and like and leave a comment and let me know your thoughts about what I'm doing here on the channel, the nerdy breakdowns. I know a lot of you watch mostly the shorts, maybe haven't seen the full episodes. I appreciate it. So subscribe for more, follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all the major podcast platforms. If you want to listen, you can do that as well. With that, I want to send all of you good vibes for the rest of your day. And until next time, we will talk soon.